Sun shining. Mid-40s. What is today, Benny? The 18th? November 18th? Fire's not ripping, but she's going. My dog's chilling out. What's up, Gim? What you doing, bud? He's like, I ain't doing nothing, Dad. Here's our project. Just a regular old Fisher straight blade minute mount tube plow. Fisher yellow. We've done a few things off camera. There was a rubber deflector on here, which I'll show you now. So we took that off, and the reason we took that off is because we gotta grind this down. We're grinding down all the rust spots, all the peeling paint, and we're gonna repaint this. Before we paint, we gotta prep the metal the correct way. A few rust spots on the frame here and there. We grind and sand all that stuff down. Here in New England, and I'm sure in a lot of other parts that deal with the harsh winters and everything, if you don't do some kind of preventative maintenance on a plow like this, it can start getting worse really quick throughout the years and the seasons. These plows will last you a long time if you keep a nice fresh coat of paint on them, if you cover up some rust spots that appear. But you need to do it. You need to do it. If not, they'll start falling apart. And I'm sure you guys have seen out there a lot of these Fisher minute mount plows with holes in them, really big rust spots. And that comes from them being old, but also not properly maintained. We're just gonna have some fun with this project, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. Stick around. This whole grinding session of all this paint and rust. Ready, Ben? Just gonna be using an angle grinder and a drill, battery. We got a grinding wheel. We got like a what do they call it? Polishing disc. A little bit softer than a grinding wheel. And for our drill, we have, call it a grinding point. Just a little grinding wheel that you can put on the drill and get into the little crevices and nooks and crannies. A little wire wheel for the drill as well. Metal brush. And if we need anything else, we got a lot of other stuff around here, Ben.
Yep.
We'll figure it out. So, we're masons. We do masonry.
Oh, careful.
And it seems like this trowel might help us out a little bit.
A little bit.
He's just getting in there. He's going to try to peel off all these really like flaky pieces of paint and get the trowel behind it and just scrape those big pieces off. I'm thinking about just painting over the yellow that's not in bad shape. I know probably some would say the best thing to do for new paint is to get it back down to some kind of plain metal. But this is also just a snow plow to me. So, and me and Benny want to go disc golfing today.
Yeah.
Ben and I both have one of those pointed trowels. He chose mine. Once we grind down a lot of the heavy stuff with this one, we'll throw that polishing disc back on there and get it a little bit smoother. What's up, Gim? Welcome to the party. The battery tools are junk. No, they're not junk. They just, I don't know, they don't really have the oomph. Ben's already been through one battery on the grinder, so pulling out the power tools. Find a place to plug those in? You're a pal. Day number 2 out here. It's been a while since we started this project, actually, about a little bit more than a week. Started it back then, that day. We just had a few hours to work that day, but we're back here again. You got proper safety gear. I like that, Ben.
Foggy glasses.
Anyway, we're just touching up all these spots. Grounded down a lot of these things off camera. Those are just spots that started bubbling a little bit. Hey, that one says TI or T1.
I know, I was looking at that earlier.
So probably the most important part here that I realized on this plow is this top bead right here with the cap piece of metal, or metal stock, whatever you call it, meets the plow blade. And it's just a little rusted the whole way down. So this is what I've done on this side already. Just about an inch or a little bit more than an inch down from the top. Clean up the edge. And I gotta do that from there down here. And that's just gonna freshen up that whole edge so that when I apply the paint, it has a little bit better of a chance to adhere. If we just cover those spots right there with paint, it won't be long after that where that paint cracks and we still got to deal with it, so now's the time. So I knew coming into this project I wasn't going to be able to really like hit every single point on this plow perfect when grinding it down, but the blade and the bottom of the blade and everything is really important to me. Some of the parts in the back of the plow, but again, I wasn't able to get to everything, but if you can get 80% of it done, it's just going to do nothing but help the longevity of your plow. So the one we're initially taking the heavy rust and paint off with is just a regular 4.5 inch grinding metal grinding wheel. It's not thin, it's not a cutting wheel, it's a grinding wheel. So that's what's on this one. That's our powered grinder. Get a little bit more torque with it, more power. So that's taking the heavy stuff down. Then we got the battery one with our soft, more of a finishing metal grinding wheel, and that smooths everything out nicely. Wish you could like show them how smooth it has been. It's unbelievable. That wheel really finishes it off nice with all the corners so they're not sharp or dragging. Still got a lot to do.
Yes, we do.
Ben's tired of changing batteries and he was crying about
Throwing a fit.
throwing a fit, a temper tantrum. So we hooked him up with the big 7-inch grinder with the soft pad there just to smooth the metal down. We got to do that with our whole blade so that can get a nice new application of paint. It's not much like deep rot, just a little bit of surface rust. So that should take care of that, no problem. But I gotta try it first because I just put the blade on, and if anything happens, it's gotta be on me. Benny, you gotta put pressure on this one.
Yes, really put it in
You gotta
there.
put a little bit of pressure on it. Okay with that?
I'm okay with that. No
Yeah.
batteries.
No batteries. Before. After. So that's not like something you'd want to have if you're painting a car. But for what we're doing with painting this plow, that's plenty good enough. Nice clean surface to apply the new spray paint to. No way. Got the plow up on a pedestal here. So we're gonna take this blade off, which just consists of all these bolts, carriage bolts. The nuts are on the other side. Got the air compressor, the gun. Debating whether or not I wanted to, and I think I'm gonna, because there's a piece behind this blade right here that I'd like to grind down. And not only that, we got to get this trip edge, we got to be able to push it back and get in that crack to be able to grind it down and paint it. I need you to push down on those carriage bolts so I can undo the rest of it. Yeah. There it goes. Blade is off. I'm glad I did it. It's a lot of rust. Blade's over there. Morning, bud.
Morning.
Day 3.
Day 3.
Not long days though. I hope these guys don't think it's like taking us 45 hours to get to where we are now. We're just kind of leisurely getting this done.
Taking our time, doing it right.
Doing it right. We just got the big grinder put together, the big grinding wheel. It's Benny's weapon.
Yep.
I gotta go put together an estimate, so Benny's on his lonesome for a little while with the big boy.
That's why we're taking it slow.
Taking it slow. I did a little bit yesterday at the end of the day on this plow, trip edge here. So that's what we're going for. There's a lot of rust. There's a lot of rust behind this scraping blade. So this entire bottom piece needs to get completely grinded down. All the paint's gonna go. Unlike the plow, a lot of these areas are pretty good. So we're just gonna be painting over those. But this whole trip edge needs to get ground down. It's not good enough to save anything. That's what we're looking for. I have to touch this side up a little bit more. Benny, that's what we want right there, bud.
That's what we want.
Guys, see if you can sync those shots for the camera, pal. Oh, short-handed it. Oh, I'll clip it out. Standing like Captain Morgan's right there. I caught it on video.
Yeah.
With your leg up after the work you just did.
Hooray!
You proud of yourself?
Yeah, it looks, man.
You should be proud of yourself.
It's nice and shiny.
Damn right it's shiny. Makes me want to do the rest of the plow now. Just kidding, I do not.
Yeah, the paint's actually the toughest shit to get off.
Yeah, it is. Just got to do that spot, but we got our hatchet right here holding open our trip edge, so I'm just gonna have to move that around. But Benny, that is exactly how I wanted it, pal. We had to open this trip edge up so that we can get our grinding wheel in there and just get around the corner a little bit so that the new paint we put on has a good place to adhere to. Or else if we don't grind that down and paint it, it's just going to be a spot where rust can start taking over again. Yep. Hello everyone that's still with me. Appreciate you watching. Hope you're enjoying this video. As always, I truly appreciate the support from the return viewers, the people that are always watching the uploads. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the comments. That last video where I did that thing with Benny's hair, making it look black, man, that was just hilarious. I'm glad a lot of you guys found that funny as well. That's what I'm also here for on this YouTube journey here. I want to share the work I do and these things I'm doing with my business, but I'm also here to have a little bit of fun. Might be hard to tell, but we got down to bare metal in between that joint there. where those two pieces of plow meet. Getting up over that lip and through at least like a ½ inch or so is important, as well as the bottom edge of this piece, so we have bare metal on the edges. That way our new primer and paint will stick to the metal much better, last longer. So we're going to prime the front of this plow and the top a little bit, all the way down to our trip edge and in our joint there. And we're going to wrap around the edge and just do this edge. We're going to try to get a coat or two of primer on that today so that the bare metal doesn't sit overnight, because it can just take one night of oxidization. Is that even a word? Oxidization? Is that how you say it? Okay, that's not bad. I can't believe I got that out of my mouth. Anyway, I'm going to try to protect the bare metal overnight. This is what we're using for our primer, Rust-Oleum clean metal primer. Use on bare, painted, or lightly rusted metal. Well, that's it guys for this video. We're going to do the priming and the painting in the next video to come on this plow. I hope you enjoyed this one. There's a lot of grinding I did off camera on a lot of the spots. That stuff kind of gets repetitive. So hope you guys join me on the next video and see how we paint this. Like I said before, it's not going to be just a regular solid color. We're going to do something special. So until the next one, thanks guys. God bless. Peace.